Welcome to the first segment of Finnybits. In this video, we're going to take you through the itinerary and finances of our dog-friendly trip from Southern California to Yosemite in a 2019 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. So first, we needed a plan, a place to stay, where to charge, and what activities to do, all being dog-friendly. We used Expedia to book a stay at a golf course turned glamping resort called Meadows, a better route planner, or ABRP, to pre-plan our route with efficient charging stops, and all trails to help decide which dog-friendly trails we wanted to hike on our trip. Here are some routes to Yosemite from popular nearby cities with charging information, and a list of popular, easy Yosemite hikes that are dog-friendly and non-dog-friendly. We also use Wells Fargo's Autographed and Capital One Saver One credit cards for cashbacks on traveling and dining. So we packed our luggages, snacks, and dog into the car and started our trip from Southern California. Our first stop was the supercharger in Tejon Ranch. I manually drove the first half and used autopilot for the next half until we were at the supercharger. Then we hopped out the car to stretch and let the dog use the restroom. For those of you who don't know, superchargers are purposely placed on travel routes with a bunch of amenities like restaurants, restrooms, and things to do. This supercharger was a pretty standard example of one, since there was a Chipotle, Denny's, McDonald's, and a Best Western Statue of Liberty nearby. This stop cost us $15.51 for 33 kilowatt hours. Alright, charging finished and dog loaded. We're off to our next stop, which is Vasilia's supercharger. Because I was using autopilot most of the way there, I was able to look around while supervising the car. We saw a bunch of farmlands, lots of plants, and we didn't catch it on camera, but we saw a California tornado. A little after our tornado sighting, we saw signs of a bar, dog park, and a fresh cheese factory. We had to stop there. So I stopped the navigation to Vasilia and took the off-ramp to Travers supercharging station. The first thing we saw once we parked was a small sheep farm. You could feed them for $0.25. We let the dog explore the dog park for a bit, then headed into the gift shop. There was a treehouse, gold mining rig, a shooting range that takes Apple Pay, a bar and restaurant, and a small animal farm, which we were most excited about. It had rabbits, goats, donkeys, chickens, a peacock, and other animals you can pet, if you dare. This stop cost us $14.62 for 34 kilowatt hours. So charging's finished, dog loaded, and cheese inhaled, and we're off to our next stop, which is our home for the next 2 nights, Meadows. It was a long way to our hotel, but once we arrived, we dropped off our luggages, dog, and cheese in our cabin, and I drove about 3 cabins over and plugged in the car to one of the Tesla chargers the hotel had installed. Our cabin is about 220 square feet, including a small dining table, coffee and tea, microwave, fridge, AC, bathroom and shower, twin bed, bunk bed, and dog bowls. They also offer a variety of amenities like on-site bike riding, a dog park and meadow where dogs can run free and chase rabbits, a community pool area, electric vehicle chargers for Tesla and other EVs, and trails around the property. If you bring your dog, all they ask is that you don't let them on the couch or bed and that you clean up after them. They also have family cabins that are about 350 to 400 square feet and a micro cabin that's about 120 square feet and has a communal shower, which is pretty nice for 1 to 2 people stays. We showered and slept for the night. Once we got up, we unplugged the car and headed straight to the southern entrance of Yosemite. There are superchargers at the southern and western entrance and general chargers around the area if you need more electricity. We briefly charged at the supercharger before entering the south entrance since it was so close and we wanted to eat breakfast. This cost us $5.72 for 13 kilowatt hours. Once you reach one of the park's entrances, you'll need to buy either a 7-day or annual pass, unless it's a fee-free day. The annual pass will cost $70, and here's the price for the 7-day pass. You can purchase these in person or online on mps.gov, where you can also view the current year's fee-free days. We entered through the southern entrance and drove down a 32-mile stretch to Yosemite Valley, where most Yosemite activities take place. The drive is very scenic, and you'll probably want to stop and take some pictures because some viewpoints on the drive are absolutely gorgeous. Once we got to Yosemite Valley, we headed to our first hike of the day, Mirror Lake. Luckily, we went on the weekday and there was no traffic at all. Parking was a bit difficult, but I found a spot close to the trailhead. The Mirror Lake Trail is a dog-friendly, 2-mile, mostly shaded trail that is paved and easy to follow. Parking is about half-mile away from the trailhead at Curry Village Parking, or if you like to take the free shuttle, it stops right at the trailhead. We followed the paved road, or whatever All Trails told us to take, since there were a few forks on the road. On the first half of the trail, you'll be surrounded by some gorgeous tall trees. In the second half, you'll hear the lake as it runs down the side of the trail. The lake looked amazing. Apparently it's not usually this full, but due to recent rain and snowfall, it looked like this. After admiring the view for a few minutes, we decided to head back to the car. We had a small lunch break and headed to Lower Yosemite Falls. On the way there, we stopped by the village store and bought some souvenirs. If you like to visit the village store or visitor center, there is a visitor parking about a quarter mile away, or you can park behind the visitor store for 30 minutes. We then headed over to Lower Yosemite Falls, which was another dog-friendly hike, but shorter. This hike is about a 1 mile round trip and is a must-go this season due to recent heavy rain and snowfall. You can park at the visitor parking or take the free shuttle that stops right at the trailhead. Since we had a late start and took a lot of stops for photo taking, we tapped out and began heading home for the day. Make sure you have bright headlights if you're driving at night. The roads are windy, pitch black, and sometimes narrow. We grabbed dinner, headed back to the cabin, showered, and called it a night. The next morning, we woke up, packed our things, and said goodbye to our cabin. Before we left, we tried out Sierra Meadows' free bike rentals. We haven't ridden a bike in years, but it was a fun experience, especially with our speedy dog. Once we returned the bikes, we unplugged the car and headed back to Yosemite for day 2. This time, we wanted to tire Finny out before the human-only hike, so we took her to a 4-mile, dog-friendly hike called Wawona's Meadow Loop Trail. There's free parking directly across the trailhead at Wawona Hotel, where the free shuttle stops as well. This was a really simple loop around the meadow, immersed in tall trees. At one point, it started thunderstorming while we were in the forest. Finny had the time of her life. She smelled so many different types of plants, dirt, and streams of water. She definitely got her paws real muddy. When we noticed that she wasn't pulling on us anymore, that was a sign that she was tired and was ready to knock out in the back of the car. That's when we drove to Grizzly Giant Trail. Grizzly Giant is the massive sequoia tree within Yosemite National Park. There is limited and accessible parking, as well as a shuttle stop at the trailhead, with significantly more parking downhill 2 miles away, if you're feeling like hiking that far. Since this is a human-only trail, we put dog mode on and let our sleepy furry friend take a nap. This trail was a 2-mile loop with outstanding views, exhibits, wildlife, and enormous trees. The road wasn't paved, it was built with planks of wood. This trail has a decent incline, but has benches for people who are tired midway. We found a few deers, a woodpecker, a downed sequoia, and the California tunnel tree on the way to the Grizzly Giant. They also had a water refill station with fresh, filtered water from Yosemite. While on the trail, we were able to look at the car from the Tesla app to make sure dog mode was still on and everything was okay. In newer Tesla models, you can access your cabin camera to check your dog during dog mode to make sure they're doing just fine. When we were done wrapping around the trail, we returned back to the car and started our night drive back home. This whole trip cost us around $639. We spent $394 for the stay, $147 for food, $66 for charging, and $35 for a 7-day pass. We would have spent more on food and charging, but we brought snacks from home and had free charging at Sierra Meadows. Altogether, this was an awesome, well worth it trip. In our books, the stay was a 5 out of 5. I would definitely stay here again, especially with my dog and electric vehicle. The park was a 5 out of 5. Yosemite and all that it provides is truly breathtaking and a must see. There is nothing like seeing and experiencing Yosemite with your own eyes. Trust us when we say these videos do very little justice to what you will experience. The food was a 2 out of 5. The selection of food around and in Yosemite was mainly fast and junk food, which is ironic since you think many health-conscious people would visit Yosemite frequently. If you stay at Sierra Meadows, most cabins come with a kitchenette or microwave and utensils so you can cook up your own meal. Dog friendliness is a 3 out of 5. We were grateful that Yosemite allowed us to take our dog with us to experience the dog-friendly areas within this beautiful park. But there were not that many casual activities you can do with your pup. If you are considering bringing your own Finny with you, make sure you monitor your dog mode or hire one of the many dog sitters near Yosemite. Our only regrets were only staying for 2 nights when it should have been a 3-night minimum to explore more, and bring our own cookware and countertop burner to make our own meals. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It means a lot to our new channel. Let us know what you guys think about this new segment and what trips we should take next. Would you consider Yosemite to be your next road trip destination? Thanks for watching Finnybits. See you in our next video.